Hey everybody, Brian the Wild Armenian. Rat Ride Carport Garage Rebuilder, whatever you want to call me. Don't call me late for lunch. Don't feed me. Man, I just had a wonderful meal today. We had a couple of little steaks and a baked potato and a salad. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I'm not here to talk to you about that. What I'm doing today is I want to talk to you about part 3 of my 62 versus 65. Should I take my retirement early? My actual retirement age is 66 and a half. Excuse me. And of course, 70 something, I'm not going to wait that long, but for the full enchilada, and I'll make more and all that. But I don't know, 70 is kind of pushing it for me. Like I said, I'm 64 right now. And when I was turning 62, boy, don't you think I was thinking hard about it. Man, I was ready to pack up the wagon and go. And a lot of things hold me back. I had a little fear, I'm going to be honest with you there too, because I got in that situation like, bam, hit me like a ton of rocks. My bookkeeper, tax guy was saying, Brian, that's your money the government takes. Excuse me. And, you ought to go early because that's the money. You'll never get that back, And a couple of people were talking about it too. There's another guy too on YouTube, Sarasota Tim, and he's right too. He's talking about taking your money early too, and he's right. And, if you can do it, if it works out for you. Me, unfortunately, it didn't work out for me. I did the numbers, I figured the insurance and, if I quit my job, I got good benefits and all that too, and Blue Cross. And and of course, at the time, I believe, and I'm sorry, I don't have the notes, but I did the thing. I think when I called the Social Security, I think it was like $12.45 a month I would only get at the time. Now that's not plus tax, income tax that comes out, plus insurance. I got to buy insurance somewhere, I guess I could go to Obamacare and all that, but that's kind of, I don't know. I didn't want to take a chance at it, and then of course other things too. And I really didn't have my gear together. I was thinking about it. Now I do a checkbook, and I'm pretty successful. I have some money in the bank. I'm not a billionaire or anything like that. Don't let me believe that. But everything's paid for, and I'm kind of frugal. I balance a checkbook down to the penny. And I was taught by my mother, thank God, my father. I had a business for years. I was a businessman for many years. Like in my second video, thank God for Social Security, because that business failed also, and I was bankrupt. Divorces and stuff like that happened in my life, cancer, stuff, unpredictable things happen. And so when you go down the road in your nice big motorhome in your retirement, don't look down at me and laugh at me in my rat ride, because, hey, things happen, and I'm okay with it. I'm pretty content. I'm grateful for what I have today. Thank God I didn't get what I deserve sometimes in some cases. But getting back to that, my intake now, I'm 64. Like I said, at the end of the year, I'm going to be 65. Medicare kicks in, okay, and then hey, I can go right on to Medicare. There's some more information now about Medicare. We'll get into that. I'll do another video on that I've learned some stuff. I've talked to people and got myself educated. And but I kind of figured out, ballparked my kind of tweaking what I'm going to expect to have Medicare paid. I get A free, that there's B, C, and D, that A, B, C, D, that not the A, it's free, but that I'll have to pay. Now also, I found out there's a copay policy, and that's what I understand is pretty reasonable. And I did not put it in my budget right now, and this is a worksheet, okay? Mind you, I'm gonna give an idea. I'm gonna fine tune this like an old automobile here. I'm gonna fine tune this thing the best I can. All we can do is the best we can. And usually when you write your budget down, a little notebook like that, And I've got, monthly and yearly expense. Now the yearly has, property taxes. Here in Florida, we have property tax. We don't have an income tax. That's why this is a great Florida. Florida's a great state to retire in. Thank God. Um, then I figure it in the property, and then the oh geez, what's the licensing, like automobile and stuff like that. Now a lot of times what I do, I don't try to be too conservative. I try to get a little over, and like if it's 130 a year for my licensing, what I'll do is I'll round it off. I round it 20 to 22 to $20 more. So kind of think high on the payments. That way, I feel like I get right in the bullseye when I do it that way. Just a little bit. I don't have to get crazy with it. So that's your yearly, your insurance, home insurance, auto insurance, and health insurance. We already talked about that. Now, mind you, I said that at the end of the year, I'm going to be eligible for Medicare. So I have to go talk to an insurance guy. I got this one guy. He's easy to name. His name is like mine, Brian. So I can remember that. I hope I can. That'd be bad if I don't. But anyway, I have an appointment to see him next month, I believe it is. And so at least when I go see him, I can say, Brian, this is what my expenses. This is what I can expect. Find me a policy that works for me. Let's talk about it. I'm not going into him blindfolded with not knowing any of this, and he's throwing numbers at, well, we can do $250 a month, blah, 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 blah. But no, I can't. This is it. This is what I expect to pay. This is what I expect to do. And I've got what I need to do. Now, if he does throw me a higher number, a few bucks more, I can adjust one of these other figures. At least I'm not going in there blindfolded. And I'm thinking, I thought today, I was sitting in church today thinking, I'm going to make this video. I thought about making this video because it's important, and it'll help somebody. Hopefully I help somebody. And I talked to the pastor today a little bit, and somebody else talked to him and interrupted. That's fine. And I'm thinking, I was praying on it a little bit. And lo and behold, one of the ladies at church was talking. And then she started talking about she's going to be 62 shortly. And I go, whoa, there's no coincidence in God's world. I'm telling you. So then I asked her, I said, well, do you have a budget? And I asked her all these questions that we just talked about in this video. And she didn't have a clue. She was like me back then, did not have a clue. Didn't get on it, It come up real quick before you know it, you're 62 and you don't have a clue. I talked to a guy at work about 3 weeks ago. He's 59, going to turn 60. He didn't have a clue. I said, yeah, you ought to start thinking about that. Really? I go, yeah. And I told him this and that. He goes, really? I go, yeah, really. And I tell these people, get a budget. Know what you're doing when you go into these things. And lo and behold, this woman I was talking to was an educated lady, very smart, very nice, beautiful woman, And me and my son was talking. He's in the Air Force. He just graduated. He's got a bachelor's degree. And me and him was talking about, I was thinking that was cool because he don't have no student debt. Uncle Sam paid for it. He did, he worked hard at doing what he did, but he did it right, And I was congratulating him. And, he says, Dad, it's this fortunate about the student loan debt in this country that, there's people that's had loan debts for 30 years, I believe. I'm learning this. And they have some of their debts are like 100,000. I heard $200,000. Some guy I was talking to last week, $50,000. And the semesters are like 20 grand. It's crazy. And I never went to college, but I'm going, whoa. That's like they get out of college and they already have a house mortgage, and it's not a house, it's a loan, student debt. So, and what gets me, my son said something very important. He said, son, Dad, what the problem is? Back in high school, they didn't teach us how to do a checkbook budget. They didn't have Economics 101, anything like that in high schools that he remembers. And he's right. When I was in high school, they had home ec, wood shop, auto mechanics, agriculture. I can't even think of that, but anyway, basketball, football. But they didn't. I never heard of teaching you how to balance a checkbook, checking accounts, interest rates. All this. They didn't have classes like that. How to manage your money, how to be frugal. Nothing like that I remember. And it makes sense, why we got that student loan debt. So what I'm trying to get at is a lot of people do not know this. Really does. They really don't. And that's a shame, it really is. But it's never too late. You can turn it around. You can start turning it around tomorrow. Turn it around right now and start at it, because it's very important that you do this. Very important. And you got to get a budget. Now, this is $1,500 I'm talking about, 42 for the rest of my life. Now, of course, there's going to be COLA. COLA is a raise from the federal government to adjust inflation. And of course, this is going to get higher eventually, 8%, 2%, whatever they do. Now, I can only make up, since I'm retiring below 64 and a half, I can only make $21,400 a year. And I can't go over that. Or I'll get charged for every $3 I make, they're going to charge me $1 and hold my Social Security. It won't be pretty, Now, if I wait until I'm 66 and a half, I can make all the money in the world. I can make $1 million if I want a year. But it doesn't work if I retire early. And that's okay, too. Reason why I'm retiring is because I'm retiring. Meaning I'm not going to work 40 hours a week anymore at a job. That's the whole idea. My body, I'm okay in shape. My hands are numb when I wake up and things like that. I'm getting old. I'm past my expiration date for working like that. But I can make $21,400 a year on the side gigs. I can turn wrenches. I can paint fences, whatever. I can do part-time gigs. And if I did the math as I did, I think I'd be making like $40-something thousand a year or better, just in there. So I'd be really doing good. So it's not going to be that bad. It's not really scary. But I got the basics, like I said, the basic cost of living, monthly and yearly. You got to be frugal. You got to be frugal. And that will help you. I've also got rainy days. You go say, well, what happens if this happens and that happens? Well, I got rainy day expenses. And if something does happen bad or, tragedy, whatever happens, I do have a little money saved. And I can pull out to that money and use it. But then I'll act like a bank and I will pay my bank account back. I don't have to charge an interest, but I could and I could play a game like that, charge myself interest by using my own money. So whatever, I can also put the money in a CD. Right now right now they're paying, I checked with the bank, I think it was 4.5% interest. So I could do that, and I gain if I put out like 70,000, I'd be making, I think it was $4,500 for a year. Which is not bad. That's better than sitting, that's not bad for sitting on a couch doing nothing. $4,000 is better than a sharp stick in the eye, like the old saying is. But please do a budget on yourself. Look at it. Look at what you have to spend, your income, what's coming in, and what are you going to have to go out. What's coming in, and what's coming in is what are you getting a month. And what's going out is what you got to spend. And that's easy as that, I hope I'm very helpful to somebody. That's really why I'm doing these videos, to help people, because I figure remember the old commercials, I should have had a V8, or the light bulb goes off in your head, I get these light bulb experience. And what I find out, that I'm not too unique. I'm not the only one on this planet walking around finding this stuff out or learning this stuff. And if I can pass this on to help somebody, I hope I am. I really do. And with that, hey, God bless you all. And I'm going to beg you right now, give me a thumbs up. Hit that button somewhere, right there, right there, right there, somewhere. But please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I need all the help I can. Lord knows I need the help. Thank God. God bless. And y'all come back, you heard?